Hello, all my froggy friends. Welcome back to Cassie's Corner. I'm Cassie, and I'm glad to be here with you. If you would, please like and subscribe to my channel. Hit the thumbs up or hit that notification bell so that you will be notified when I drop a new video. These help YouTube to put me in their algorithm, whereas it's more like a popularity contest. So much that, they use your I lost my word. They use your interactions to judge my popularity so much that any comment or any interaction or any kind of reaction that you give to my videos will help me to reach somebody else who needs this type of talk, who needs this type of persuasion, who needs this type of joyful endorsement in their depression, maybe anxiety, things like that. And I would like that very much. I very much want to reach other people. I do love the comments. I think of them as for myself, to help myself improve on what you need or what you need to hear. I give basically just tips and tricks on how to help with anxiety, how to curb those anxious and depressive thoughts so that you're not just always depressed, and that you can look forward. There is a way that you can look forward to great joy in your life. This is not the person, what you see right now is not the person that was here maybe 10 years ago. I was a dark, depressive person. I probably would have gotten on camera instead. I don't think I would have been on camera at all. I just would have not bothered with it. Nothing I have would have been enough to warrant public knowledge. You know what I mean? I would have just been like, yeah, I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be here and look at myself and look at the mess in my room and not worry about anybody else. So you're looking at a person who is so depressed and so toxic. Toxic is a big word. I was a very toxic person. I was a very negative person. You're looking at a person that could not get up out of bed, that could not think about getting herself dressed. As you saw in yesterday's video, I do get up and I do get dressed and I do put on makeup and I do do that kind of thing every once in a while. I won't do it every day because it's kind of redundant when I really have, I don't work outside the home. I'm not a professional anything. I'm not one of those people that are important. So it's like, as I feel like it, as I see fit, if I have things to do, I will wear makeup and I will make myself presentable, but it's not an everyday thing. So I have been there. I have been in some dark, dark times. I have been in some low, low, low states in my depression. I have been to where I feel like nothing I did mattered. Nothing, I didn't matter. Nothing I said mattered. Nothing I wanted mattered. It just did not matter. Nothing mattered. There was a time where I felt like, okay, probably, maybe it would be better off if I wasn't here in other people's way. That is the wrong way of thinking. That was so wrong because I do have three lovely, wonderful children and three talented, very intelligent grandchildren that would need me here in the future. And we're talking about, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, I didn't feel worthy, and now that they're here and they're getting older, I see that the way I thought was maybe they'd be better off without me. They're not. They're not. They need me, and I love them so much. I would never hurt them in that way. So there is my introduction, so to speak. We're in my corner, and this is my safe place, my corner. I say this all the time. This is where I'd rather be if I'm in a crowd or if I'm in if I'm anxious or so. I'd rather just be backed up in a corner and just people leave me alone. People don't search the corner, they search the middle of the room. over in the corner, I'm unseen, and I like it there. I do. You can always put baby in a corner. Not that I'm a baby, but when Patrick Swayze said that in his character line, that you don't never put baby in a corner, I thought that was kind of weird, because that is where I'm most comfortable, is in a corner. And I figure if anybody is worth me talking to, you know, they'll come to the corner and find me out. You know, there's a different way to see. There was two different ways to see the situation. He didn't want his baby in a corner, but I don't mind being in a corner. And everybody knows, even my spouse knows, I'm headed for the corner. I'm getting to the farthest way away from the room. So, you know, if you want me, you know where I'm at. That kind of thing. How's everybody doing? We're preparing for that cold snap coming. It is starting to rain. It looks kind of outside. I mean, it's beautiful if you like rain. Some people don't like rain. I don't understand that. Without flower, you know, you can't have flowers without rain. You can't have grass growing beautifully in your yard if you don't have rain. Hopefully, I have fixed my editing software. Hopefully, I have done that recently today. So maybe I can edit my video and have it recorded. So whatever. But anyway, we are on our 22nd day, our 22nd lesson for the 22nd of January. Now, when it gets to other months, it starts over. It's like day 1, day 2. So I'm labeling them, you know, that like the 31st, and then I'll go into the 32nd and 33rd. But I'll say, you know, for February, I'll say for the date. So that way we don't get lost in what we're doing. We're not starting over, but it does start over for each month. So, today it says, I will keep constant watch over myself, and most usefully, I will put each day up for review. For this is what makes us evil, that none of us looks back upon our own lives. Most evil, that we don't look back on our own lives. Okay. We reflect upon only that which we are about to do, and yet our plans for the future descend from the past. Seneca said that in his moral letters. In a letter to his older brother, Novatus, Seneca describes beneficial exercise he borrowed from another prominent philosopher. At the end of each day, he would ask himself variations of the following questions. What bad habit did I curb today? How am I better? Were my actions just? And how can I improve? At the beginning of each day, the Stoic sits down with his journal and reviews what he did, what he thought, and what could be improved. It's for this reason that Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is a somewhat inscrutable book. It was for personal clarity and not for public benefit. Writing down Stoic exercises was and is also a form of practicing them, just as repeating a prayer or hymn at night. Keep your own journal, whether it's saved on a computer or in a little notebook. Take time to consciously recall the events of the previous day, but be unflinching in your assessments. Notice what contributed to your happiness and what detracted from it. Write down what you like to work on, or quotes that you like. By making the effort to record such thoughts, you're less likely to forget them. An added bonus, you'll have a running tally to track your progress to. Quit it. Go away. My dog, Jake. He's a pretty dog. He's just very annoying right now. So that is our lesson for today. It is reiterating that journaling, either day or night or both, writing things down. I like writing things down. Some people like the digital thing, but the art of writing has been lost to some generations. There are even children out there that do not know how to write in cursive. My own children being examples. You know, they can write certain letters in cursive and it looks okay. But as far as them writing, you know, everyday letters in cursive, they don't know how. They'd rather type it out on the computer. And that lost art of personal writing is just kind of lost. So I like to write things down. It just feels better. Maybe I'm just from that generation. I don't know. But if I'm, and I do need to make, a nighttime journal and a daytime journal. And that's cool. If you have a journal and you just have a notebook, you don't have a whole lot of money to get into things, just buy a little cheap notebook and half the page and, make the page half, make one day, one night, one day, one night. Make sure that it's dated so that you can go back and flip back and think about how you behaved, like he says in this, how am I better? Were my actions just? What bad habit did I curb today? What awful thing did I get away with not practicing today? Did I exercise? Did I got to get on that one too. Did I exercise? Did I drink water? Did I treat everybody fairly? Were my thoughts clear? Did I use compassion? That kind of thing. Those are things you need to ask yourself as you're writing things. What am I looking for in each day? What can I reflect back on each night? What actions did I take? And that way you do have a clear and concise record of, months ahead in the year. You can say back in July, or in July, when, let's say we're in summer, and you're like, what day was it that I had that fit? And you go back, and you try to, go back to that day and say, oh, I had that fit on this day, and then something will trigger why you had that fit. Or maybe you were in a bad mood. What caused me to be in that bad mood? And you go back and look on that day, and you've written something down to trigger why you were in such a bad mood. Or did you just wake up that way? Did you what did you do to curb it? What was my retaliation against this bad mood that was so, that steered me away from hurting someone else's feelings? These are all things they're worthy. They're needed, especially if you're trying to make yourself better. I want to say it in the correct form. In a way that you feel is better. I'm not your judge. You don't have to be better by my standards. I want you to be better by your standards. Am I doing this correctly? Am I using kindness? Am I being compassionate, not just to others, to myself as well? Did I treat myself? Maybe practice writing down a spa bath. I take really long baths sometimes because I love to feel clean, and I feel like if you take that time to take your spa bath or a spa, pamper yourself a little bit. Self-care is very important when you want to feel better about yourself. Trust me. But mark that down. Hey, I had a spa bath. It took me a really long bath this time. It's been a minute. Maybe it's been past 30 days. Maybe I should, take care of myself again, and maybe I can come out with a better outlook on life. So all these things are very important to how you treat other people. You wouldn't think so, but it is. It is very, very important. It's not hard to be nice, but when you're in a negative mood and you think only dark thoughts, it is hard to reach out. It is hard to extend kindness. It is hard to be curious about somebody else because you're so deep in what you think and what you feel that nothing else matters. Nothing else, why should I care what anybody else thinks? Nobody thinks about me. Well, you don't know that, and if you don't think about you, well, no. Nobody, you're sitting there and your smelly little self and not taking care of yourself. I kind of wouldn't want to be around you. I kind of wouldn't want to think about what you're saying. Let's use some logic in this. Let's use some real logic. Are you getting up and taking a shower in your depression? Yes, you have to. You have to, because that is important. Somebody may want to talk to you, but they come in the house and there's this stench and they want to just walk right back out. Hey, I gotta go. Sorry, this was a bad mistake. Or maybe you're already like anxious and mad when they walk in the door, and you start on your negative rant, and they're like, you know what, this was a bad mistake. Maybe I should come back another time. But it's important. It's important to. I know. I think it's silly. I think it's really redundant sometimes to write down everything that I did that day or whatever. But it is very necessary. It is very necessary. You know what days are bad. You know what triggered you. You know how you behaved. If you had a fit. If you had a breakdown. And like I said, you can just read back and think of your behaviors. Think of what caused that. You may say somebody else caused that reaction out of you, but I bet you 9 times out of 10 you caused that reaction out of you. It was your mood. It was the fact that you didn't control something out of your own brain. I promise. I know everybody's like, nah, and that was always somebody else. Of course we want to blame other people because, everybody wants to be perfect. Everybody wants to be the best. Everybody wants to be right. And not everybody can. Someone's wrong somewhere. And I'm first to be like, hey, I'm wrong. I shouldn't have. At first it may be a fight. It may be, I'll fight against in an argument. But I'm usually the one that comes back, hey, that was really wrong. I should not have been that way. I'm bad about. I'm just so honest in that I will come back and say I should not have. Sorry. I'm usually the first to apologize when it was like a battle with my mother, even though I would be stubborn and it may take 2 years, but I usually ended up being the one to say I'm sorry. That's just how I am. I'm especially if I'm at work, if something goes wrong. Yeah, I think I did that. I think I might get in trouble, but at least I know I'm honest and I'm not putting the blame on somebody else. I won't admit to something that I didn't do, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'm the same way about my kids. If my kid's wrong, everybody wants to be the perfect mother and not my kid. Yeah, your kid. Even though you think you're perfect, they can make mistakes too. So I would be, what? My child probably did do that. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to argue with you on that. Or if I don't see my child doing such and such, I will say I just don't see them being in that way. But it's not impossible because they are human. I mean, we have to think logically about what we're up against, and what we're up against is life and ourselves. If you're prone to make mistakes, don't be afraid to admit them. You learn from them, and not only that, you're known to be very honest with other people. And nobody's doubting your motives. Nobody's not trusting you as far as your character is concerned. I think it's very wise to be very honest. Hey, I think I did do that. I think I did make that mistake. I didn't mean to. It's just the proper way to be. I think the Stoics would have been that way. I think of Christ would have made a mistake. He would have been the one to say, hey, I think I did, but he couldn't because he was perfect, right? It would be lovely to be perfect. It would be lovely for others to think you're perfect, but we humans cannot be that at all. And the fact that you think you're perfect is kind of not healthy. I mean, even me, I would love to be perfect at any given time. I would love for my actions to always be perfect and just and right, but I know that I'm not. I know that I can't be. I know that I never will be. It is something to strive for. It is something to work towards. But in the interim, if I'm to blame, I'm to blame. That's just how that works. So, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Don't forget that journaling, either in the morning or either at night or both. Both is probably better. It gives you the optimal it gives you an optimal status to jot down what you feel like you want for the day, and to jot down what actually happened, especially in the start of your transitioning, the start of your self-regulating exercises, to go ahead and do a morning and a night type journal, and to have that that clear record of a clear record of what your behavior is, so that way you are aware of what you can expect of yourself, or what you're capable of, or how strong you can be in adhering to your list and to your morning routines and things of that nature. So go ahead and try to start. It is very it's an optimal way to get everything together and see what happens, especially in the first 6 months maybe. Go ahead and start that morning and night journal, and try to work that way with questions that you have for yourself, goals and things of that nature, and it will help you have a clear guide to go by. So, and I really need to, I don't know, I'm kind of better, but I still should probably have some type of record, either morning or night, to find out if things are not going. Everything just seems to be going well for me right now. I'm very happy, and I don't want to lose that ever again. I don't ever want to go back to where, and it will be a constant battle. It will be a forever battle to fight the negative, to fight your bad thoughts. It will always be a battle. It's just like alcoholism, or drug use, or maybe cigarette addiction, things of that nature. It is something to always battle. You don't ever want to go back. Once you get to that happy spot, you can't find yourself going back to that bad place, that really, really bad, dark place. You just can't. Anyway, I do hope you find that great big belly laugh, because that is important. Laughter is medicine. Watch some Lucille Ball, watch some Three Stooges, watch something that makes you laugh. The funny things that come to me now is probably the Bugs Bunny cartoons. I loved watching those. I loved watching Bugs Bunny. I have no idea why. I loved watching Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny interact with each other. Duck season, no rabbit season. I love Tom and Jerry. I love anything funny. I mean, anything that you think is funny, grab it, and learn to laugh again, because that is very important. And there was a time, I will mention, there was an awful, awful, awful time where I could not laugh. So I'm with you. I know where you are. Find somebody to appreciate, whether it be a maid, whether it be somebody higher up. Maybe it's your boss. Maybe it's your mom or dad, or your siblings. Thank you for always caring for me. Thank you for always checking in on me and making sure that I'm okay. Thank you for all that you did for me when I was growing up. Thank you. There's nothing wrong with being humble. Nothing at all. It's probably preferable to most people. Thank you for your job as a maid, as a maintenance guy, as a whatever, because I know this is not a job that everybody wants to do. Nobody ever wants to, clean up all the spills and the toilets and things like that. If you think about a maintenance guy, they have the worst job in the world, and nobody else in the building wants to do their job. Who wants to go clean up toilets all day? I mean, I can do that here. I only have one toilet right now, so I'm good. I hope the weather finds you as you desire it, and if not, and you're in the situation I am where we're expecting some cold, nasty weather, well, I hate it for you. But it's still going to happen, whether you want it or not. Just stay inside and deal with what you can. I don't go places when it's cold and rainy and icy like that. I was telling my brother, people, they think they're 10 feet tall and bulletproof here, and especially in this area. I thought I heard my dog. Okay. I did. They think they're 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and I just, because they're stupid, I'm not going to put myself out on the road so that they can be stupid at my car. In my range. It's not going to happen. So I stay inside. I'm not stupid like that. If there's someplace I need to go, a doctor's office, I will do my best to go, but I'm one of those people that I will leave 15 minutes early than what I need to get there on time, even if I have to sit in the driveway for 10 to 15 minutes, because I refuse to hurt somebody else. I refuse to put somebody in a wreck where they are without their mom or without their dad or without their children. I just can't see I wish everybody else would be that way. I refuse to have somebody miss their family member on my account. So I'm very careful with how I drive, and I'm very careful, especially in the rain and the cold, especially when ice, is on the roads and things like that. I refuse. No, it's not going to happen. Not on my account. Sorry. So, find that great big belly laugh. Find people that you appreciate. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. Give yourself love. Give yourself time to heal. Give yourself... Just give yourself some time. Be kind. Just be kind to yourself. You will be okay. There is a way to come out of it. Again, I've come out of some deep, dark thoughts on my own. On completely my own. I had my children sometimes I did not. But otherwise, people would say things like, stop your whining, shut up, think different. I'm tired of hearing you cry all the time. I don't know what to do with you. You're an embarrassment. I've heard it all. I've heard every bit of it. How am I supposed to take you out when you can't control yourself? You can't behave yourself. Why would I take you anywhere? You don't appreciate it anyway. Been there, done that. If you've heard any of these words, I know what I'm talking about. So, y'all have the wonderful, wonderful day. Take the weather as it comes, and please be careful. Try not to hurt anybody, especially yourselves. People need you. People really, really need you. It may be work, it may be family, it may be children. People do need you here, and they will miss you when you are gone. Trust me. So let's not try to rush that. Let's not try to hurry that up. We don't want to know. We don't want to know what it's like without you. I would be terrified if somebody that commonly comments on my videos, if somehow they disappear and I don't know what happens to them. That would be so horrible. But y'all have a nice day, and I will be with you here tomorrow. The Truth About Money is the title for tomorrow's account. So we'll find out some stuff. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.